Good afternoon, everyone. Extremes pounding the planet. Snowstorms on 4 continents. Record rain 14 inches in an hour across Asia. Floods across all these same continents. Hunga Tonga. The forecast for the changes back in the cycle again. We're seeing it. It's activating. And I'm going to start you off here. This is the cooling or warming based on the Hunga Tonga eruption for the next 3 to 7 years. Looking at degrees Kelvin, red hot, blue cold. You can see December, January, February top left, March, April, May top right, spring cooler. Winter warmer. Where does that take us for the world? Oh, the blame for ozone changes. SpaceX, Starlink, keeping the ozone from healing. Wait, didn't we just have a mesospheric eruption that would have depleted ozone as well? Get a blanket, panic. Well, this is what we're seeing. So you can expect more. Absolute outrageousness or extremes to swing across our planet. Half hot, half cold. And if we dive over to Asia first to get into this madness where you see the red is below average rainfall. Hot, sticky, some places cold over India. Heavy downpours, high foam. Vietnam, 10 inches per hour. I don't know how much our infrastructure could handle that, but it would be stretched at best. Here we are, Guangdong and Fujian. 14.5 inches of rain in 24 hours. Something's definitely jumped the shark here. All the riverways, 22 of them at least, and the overflows into what were productive farmlands. We'll see how the flooding dents into agriculture. As an example, this is just a stream overflowing in a small town. I mean, that is a massive amount of water happening in 22 regions with river basins in China. This is a significant event right here. Significant. Now what happens to the crops in these same regions? Speaking of China, same region electrified. This is actually 5 images overlaid, same time, but the sprite's coming off, this electrical activity. Now trace that back out and you're riding a magnetic field line to the top of the planet. Connect that to the sun. Hello. Electricity in the ether. Vientiane, Laos. 2 days of heavy rain. Well, that was the same rain that was over Vietnam as well. None of our modern infrastructure grandness has been able to survive what nature's throwing at us with these floods. Now we're going to go over into Ataru, Kazakhstan. Major thoroughway. This is a desert, by the way. Desert road. And you could never guess it by the traffic or where the location is. But we saw the same thing in Saudi Arabia a couple of times this year already, and Dubai as well. Which leads me down to Sydney, Australia's second major flood event in the week. Yep, picture's worth 1,000 words on this one. And since we are in the southern hemisphere, let's talk about snow. 19 feet of snow, too early. Delaying South American ski resort opening dates, I kid you not. SOT.net has a huge rundown on all this just insane weather events. So SOT, sign of the times, thank you for putting this out for me to consolidate to just show you what's going on. And this is just the month of June in the last weeks, plural of June. Chile has the same problem. Nearly 4 feet of snow in 24 hours, a little too much, and it turns out the key to losing weight and keeping it off is not carbs or fat or even probiotic-rich foods. Nope. The end game of having a healthy weight, as well as more energy and a long, healthy life, comes down to a specific switch which you can flip in your body to flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry is calling this caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, he's seen thousands, yes, thousands of people dramatically improve their health, even at age 50 and beyond. This includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, and returning to the good health that they had in their youth once they simply addressed this one key to better health. Dr. Stephen Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using this research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/adapt. And he'll teach you exactly how he's kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/adapt. Click on that link in the description box below. And now on with the video. Let's jump to India. Blue, what do you see there? I see blue, and I look across all these other countries that are having those massive floods as well. Start you here, Bengaluru, India. 4.37 inches smashing, surpassing the previous record, 1891, 130 years. Then we look at the snowfall events in Kashmir Valley. February chill in June, Afrawat area. Nobody there was expecting snow. They're out on summer holiday already and bundle up. If you're able to cover a mountain in a snowstorm, that's a significant amount of snow. That's just not flurries hanging out there. So what we're seeing now is a higher elevation snow. Lower elevations like record floods. Hunkatonga, now rain or precipitation coming out of our atmosphere after that water vapor eruption in the Pacific Ocean, remember, a couple years back. Added 14% more moisture to our atmosphere in a single event. Now, how long do you think before it would start to rain out of the sky after being pushed up 87,000 feet? Here's the question. We're seeing it beginning right now. So let's look at the near record heat down in Mexico. Those triangles almost look like a nuclear radiation pattern there, does it not? And if we stay in the Spanish-speaking arena, let's jump over Mallorca, Spain. Flooded runways. Hey, did we not see this same thing in Dubai last month? We did, didn't we? This is a phenomenon that's occurring everywhere. China's the same, but as we would traverse roads in Spain, bridges, this is the amount of rainfall coming out down the mountains, overwhelming again our modern infrastructure in these most developed nations. So what happens to places that are really not prepared for such floods? I mean, they're going to be inundated. Look at the streets. This is a paralyzing set of events across the planet happening in unison, intensifying. So I'm wondering what the onset trigger is. William Middlecup putting this one out here before and after. This is the flood, the rock flood, literally mud and rock flood. Straight through the village. There's also a live video that accompanies this. I did not want to put it up because it's one of the #1 videos on the planet right now with the rock slides. You can find it on Twitter, anywhere else you look. This is the debris that was left over after this rock flood, and I'm going to call it a rock flood, ripped through this place. And not only here, but Zermatt also. I mean, just the amount of water coming out of the mountains completely, from Slovenia all the way to Spain and everywhere in between with Austria and Switzerland, it is astounding. And Norway with its snow. Nature is absolutely signaling us that something massive this way comes. Because we have yet another aircraft downing from hail. Now how big does the hail have to be to bring down and shatter the nose cone of a commercial flight? Big summer snowfall in the Alps. They're looking at least 8 inches of snow. This is across Germany and Austria, Switzerland also. Glimpse for you there. Nice and cool down if you're beating the summer heat in the southeast U.S. Fona Ski Resort, Norway. 3 feet of fresh summer snow, June 13th. Fantastic season with snowfall records. Yep, it keeps occurring everywhere. Snowing in Slovenia in June. New wet snow will grace the meteorological camera for the next few days. And it just keeps going and going. And shall we visit Iceland? Closed due to heavy snow accumulation on the trails. This is a national park, but I will not be able to say the name correctly, so I'll just let you read that. And let's jump over into the U.S. here. This is Utah floods in the deserts. You know, this North American monsoon was shifting anyway, so tremendous amounts of water are coming down across the deserts. Was it like this before? Is this a cycle? Hard to know exactly the duration of it from start to finish or what the onset is again. But this is becoming very commonplace where we're getting flash floods across the desert. And since we're down in the desert and mountain regions of the western U.S., winter storm warnings out. Missoula, Montana. Okay, let's look at it. Record low temperatures possible in the 40s and 30s. You're looking at the map. There's a lot of blue and green and teal on that. And if we look at this snowfall total map, yellows is above a foot. June 17th and 18th. This is what the highway cams look like. National Weather Service Missoula putting this one out. I'll white it out individually. June 17th. Lost Trail Pass, in case you're heading up there, so keep you a little bit safer so you know the conditions. And also Timberline Lodge here, Mount Hood, Oregon, captures fresh snowfall. That's an enormous amount of fresh snowfall. June 18th. And staying in the western part of North America, it's almost summer. Didn't stop the snow from falling in western Canada. And you can see approximate depth there for you. I'll white it out. Sunshine's Village Ski Resort, June 16th. More than a dusting, just saying. So it does seem a lot of things are correlated between moisture in the atmosphere and all these events we're seeing. Now, how does this affect agriculture, which is already being affected by so many other factors? That's the main question. No food, no civilization. It's kind of an equivalent there. You can look at that. So if we don't have the ability to grow food or our food source being knocked out at the knees, well, our civilization society is going to follow the exact same trajectory. Do hope you got something out of the video. Share with your friends and family. Get the conversation started. I thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.